Hello everybody, welcome back to Evolve. We're going to be playing as the roly-poly boy in this one. We're on Medlab, which is a bit of a bluish map. So we will actually go as not Glacial Behemoth. We say not because, God rest his soul, the actual Glacial Behemoth doesn't exist anymore. So if you want to see who I'm talking about, there is a playlist on my channel that says Stage 2 content. He's got a couple of videos in there. It was an icy themed version of Behemoth. We're against Val, Hank, Griffin and Lennox. That is nearly the 3 team. So we'll see how this goes. We do have the Beam team, which is Hank and Val. Griff is the weakest trapper, and Lennox is actually quite good against Behemoth. Because she can reliably land Thunderstrike and get the Plasma Lance hit streak going, because the more hits she lands without taking damage, the more damage it does to the monster. So it is snowing. That's the first time I've seen this map of snow, actually. What the fuck? I always thought this map just rained. That's... wow, okay. I didn't know snow could actually occur on this. Is the fucking randomised weather on this map? Right, well, we start this round with a delightful bit of bewilderment, because whenever I have had the weather effects on this map in the past, it's always just been rain, so... it's actually snowing. It's a map that's sort of split into like an icy tundra sort of map, and a bit of a jungle down that end in the south of it. I did not know there was a 50-50 split of weather. We'll see anyway in a minute, because we're going over that direction. We do get poison hits straight away there. Okay, this man can outpace my fisher, that's not good. There we go. You deny quite a decent perk from the hunters there though as well, so that is good to do. I was going to shoot a lava bomb at that, but it don't really matter. There we go. So yes, this is a skin of a former monster. This is what Glacial Behemoth has been reduced to. It is what it is, you know. We couldn't really... well, we shut Stage 2 down, but couldn't be asked porting Glacial Behemoth back to Legacy. So, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? We just have to have a skin that shoots, well, a glacial skin that's actually based on ice that shoots fire and causes earthquake fissures, which is lava based, but you know. We'll stop being a dickhead about it. It's just, you know, if you're going to shut a game down permanently, as far as I'm concerned, the least you can do is at least put the fucking content from the version you're shutting down into the actual version that's going to be playable. You know, because people have actually purchased your product. But anyway, you know, let's carry on. Let's not, you know, go into 2K's bullshit. We're gonna go wall lava bomb. Probably should have gone fisher there, but it's fine. Dodge the electro blast from that mammoth bird. They should be quite close by now, if I had to guess. Take a bit of a dig at another game here that's giving double XP during the Christmas period for 3 days, because that's quite funny. I've seen Reddit's reaction to it, and it's quite amusing, to be honest. I just sort of backseat on Reddit. I just see what the world has to say, you know. But yeah, TCM has basically given you, you know, double XP on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and I believe the 27th, and it's only for 3 days. So they're basically giving you XP boosts on the days people are actually going to be spending with the family, and oh shit, Reddit is not happy about that. It's quite amusing. But yeah, you know, the bit I was starting off there is the fact that this monster costed $15.99 when it came out, and the internet being the internet threw a bitch fit back in the day, and it snowballed from there. Meanwhile, TCM is trying to sell a fucking skin to you for the same price, but everybody is apparently okay with that. I will never grasp nor, you know, read too much into it and how that makes any sort of logical fucking sense, but, you know, times were different, I suppose. We need to go for Hank here, I think, because we're we're actually losing a lot of HP, so we'll get out in that instance. We did down Griff anyway. Medic is dead. Let's get rid of that. The old 2-tap to dodge the shock. So we're going to have stage 3 primed and ready here, but we don't need to be eating that. We're going to go for another engage, just to get some more strikes. Where pos? There they are. I've only got rank 1 Fisher on it, and I've just realised. It's not good. Try and bounce it off that wall, maybe. That fucking tyrant was like eating me there and I didn't even realise. I just lost quite a lot of my armour. There you go, ready to get him. We'll go for one on Lennox here, maybe. There we go. There's Hank running for his life as well. We do get the medic back now though. Why I thought that would hit, I don't know. We're just going to go for the armour up here, I think. We might go for stage 3, come to think of it. I don't know where Val is, so let's just go for it. We always get stage 3 in all of the videos. Here it is. We'll go stage 3 wall, as always. They are right there for some reason. Misjudged that, that's fine. There's stage 3 wall for you there, by the way. I guess we're just eating shit to fill the armour up at the moment. There we go. Tried. I saw the HP where I went underneath. I thought they were coming up this ramp. We will go for Hank. This is Griff's power here, being quite annoying. He can stop you from chasing down targets. That does block all the ways off. That actually didn't hit, that was weird. There we go. Gonna bounce him all the way over here. It's big isolation. Stupid idea, shouldn't have done that. That's probably gonna kill him though. Yep. What the fuck is going on over here, Val? I was gonna say, please do get up there because it'll get me away from the tyrant. Just grab a body, that's not gonna do much of anything. There's all this fucking corpse fly through the air. Did land that, I mis-aimed that for some reason. Fuck. Limit our options. Don't actually know who's left. I think it's Lennox and Griff, maybe? No, okay, wildlife killed him. Wow, okay. Going back to that old loading screen hint, you know, plenty of things on Shear will kill a lone hunter, no monster required. It does mention that in the game. Wildlife are also a threat. It does give me a delightful window just to mention that 90% of this game's issues and the complaints about it could have actually been fixed with the wildlife. Because one of the primary complaints from the hunter side was that it was a bit boring to track the monster. Now, if you'd have used the wildlife in the same sense that Left 4 Dead uses its common infected and specials, you know, either by... There's one of two ways they could have done it. They could have either gone... There's basically the ambient bog standard common infected style, where they just sort of spawn wildlife in clusters throughout the map, because that's what Left 4 Dead does. If you've ever died in Left 4 Dead and like spectated, you know, free camera and gone far ahead of the survivors, the only thing you will ever see spawned after a certain distance is either witches or tanks, because they're already pre-planned in the map by the AI director. So they basically could have done that, but obviously, you know, given that this is a map, you just spawn wildlife within a certain perimeter of where the hunters are, and obviously certain, you know, wildlife where the monster itself is, so it's got stuff to feed on and things like that as well. Or you could have basically just gone the random, you know, basically the horde timer route, where, you know, every so once in a while in Left 4 Dead you'll get a little piano sting, and then like a horde of common infected will come and attack you, like you know, the random horde things, not the one from the events obviously, because they're massive, because they are for events, but I'm talking about just the periodic, you know, little horde attack. You could do that with wildlife. Use trap jaws, use venom hounds, little packs of them that come and run in and try and kill you. You know, you're on a fucking alien planet, so anything can be used. You could have blitz leopards coming at you. Like, literally any of these wildlife that hunt in packs could actually be used to, you know, put segments in the gameplay for the hunters. There is obviously the balancing issue of it that, you know, after a time, competitive monsters will probably wait for these horde attacks and then attack, and then it will get a bit problematic. So there is that instance, but you make it so that that wildlife that does attack is still quite weak. Like, they are basically common infected, where they are just basically one tap. You know, you shoot them and you kill them. Not, you know, they don't require any sort of sustained fire. They just die when they get hit, but it still provides that piece of atmosphere and that piece of gameplay. You still have to, you know, turn and shoot them and all that sort of thing, but they're not there forever, that sort of thing. There is another issue with that, though, that I have just thought of, that it would leave a lot of corpses for the monster, but there is also strategy to this, and it does add an extra layer where if you do leave corpses on the ground, as the hunters, you will probably recognise over time that the monster might actually come back to that location. So if you lose the monster by, you know, them being sneaky and the tracks are faded, you could go back to body piles and you probably will find the monster, because as a monster player you are looking for food to eat, and obviously if you use your smell range and there's this big pile of bodies, you're going to fucking go over there, because that is a lot for your evolve meter or your armour, whatever. So, you know, body piles created by the gameplay of wildlife spawning every now and then to attack the hunters, you know, it makes its own cycle. Like, it's a really easy fix, and I really don't know why they didn't capitalise on the wildlife. It is massively underutilised. Basically, the entire map on this, right, this is only going to be relevant to those of you who've played League of Legends, and you probably already know where I'm going for this. You are basically playing in a massive jungle from League of Legends, where it's just camps of like wildlife, you know, that sort of thing. There's nothing that really travels. The only thing that does travel is the striders. They will actually walk around the map. Mammoth birds do as well, actually. But everything else sort of just sits in one area. Like, you legit have venom hound nests, which is what that big green bulbous sort of toxic cloud mushroom style thing is. That actually spawns venom hounds over time. And it is basically a camp in a sense. But there was no, other than elites, which were the big wildlife that have like an orange outline, there was no real, you know, piece of wildlife that poses like a decent enough threat for both the monsters and the hunters. But you're on an alien planet. There was so much shit you could have done with the wildlife in this game, and it would have solved 90% of the issues for the hunters, because they were complaining that it was boring tracking a monster all the time. But if you had other things on the planet to contend with at the same time, it would have split that gameplay up. But, you know, we didn't do it for some reason. There's always going to be people that will complain about it anyway. It's like the ending of this one. Like, I'm telling you now, right, if that happened in today's gaming, they'd have been fucking straight to Reddit to complain about whatever creature killed them. Could have been a fucking Obsidian Grub, even though they can't attack them little beetle things. And you'll get somebody on that team who will be saying, oh, fucking hell, guys, we just died to this fucking little tiny bit of wildlife. I think they need a nerf, you know, that sort of shit, and it creates a shit gameplay loop. I've seen it happen with DBD. There was a time in DBD where killers were actually fun to play, and I did actually used to enjoy playing killer as on DBD. But now, it's not fun because it is legit just fucking second chance shit over and over again for the survivors, and that's what worries me with this game if it did get re-released these days with changes what I've just mentioned, because it can be good for the game flow, and I would play both sides. I played both sides when this game was multiplayer, like, and I had fucking enjoyed, loved every second of it on both sides. But it's just, I don't know, man. Like, for me personally, fucking people just ruin the experience, like humans, you know? Because they'll come in and they'll just start bitching and whining about every fucking little thing. The only reason I start complaining in DBD is because it actually isn't a fucking fun experience at all. It just isn't fun to play as killer in that game because it's been consistently nerfed over and over and over again. And that's what bothers me with this game, because it probably would get to the point where monsters would be fucking laughable. Like, you'd be playing as an AI, basically. Like, you know, 4 other people playing Monster Hunter, you know, when they can just go and play that game. But, yeah, it is what it is. Like, it's just a very awkward balance, if you ask me. I'd like this game to exist as it does at the moment, where monsters are a genuine threat. And that's not to say they wouldn't, because obviously this isn't behaviour that would be balancing this, it's whoever the dev would be. If 2K would ever, you know, wake up and realise how much potential this game has and the fact that it would actually only make them a profit, rather than actually taking money off them. The only thing they actually have to pay for is servers, and in the long run, if you relist it on Steam, and if you do want to make it like paid, you know, to actually make some money to get it off the ground and make some content for it again, I'd put it at a price tag of about 13 quid, honestly. The same as what DBD is, because DBD's paid entry. That's not free to play, and that's got battle passes in it, that's got paid content in it. There's more fucking DLC and paid content in that game than there fucking is in most games these days nowadays. So, yeah. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It really doesn't. The fact that this is literally sat here doing nothing when it looks like it could have been released today. It's got, like, the graphics in this game, it's weird because it's got like a stylized realism to it, like where it looks realistic but it also looks its own way, if you know what I mean. Like, it just works, you know. It doesn't have to be hyper fucking realism. I've never been interested in that shit anyway. It's part of the reason why I don't like TCM in a sense as well. Apart from it's the minor reason why I don't like TCM. The main reason is because the devs are just a bunch of c***s. They've shown themselves far and away at this point that, you know, they're completely detached, basically, with some of the shit they come out with. They're starting fights with, like, consumers and customers on Twitter, and it's just like, nah, I'm not fucking paying for your shit if you're going to be like that when you're clearly overstepping the mark. And it does lead into the next point that 90% of the shit that is in TCM just basically looks like it's been lifted from the fucking Unity store, quite honestly, because it's just that kind of graphics to me. I just don't enjoy them. It looks very corporate and very, like, I don't know, it just looks very shit to me, personally, so it's part of the reason why I'm not playing it, honestly. But obviously the main reason is because I don't like the devs. They've made themselves out to be the most unlikable bunch of fuckers I've ever, you know, been a consumer for. So there it is. Bit of a rant at the end of this one. This is going longer than the round itself, but it comes out every now and then. Like, there are videos I do of this like this because 110%, 1,000,000%, 1,000%, I've listed that in the wrong order. You get the idea, percent. This game shouldn't be dead. It just shouldn't be. In the current gaming climate where, you know, ASIMs are being made but also dying off because they're just being mishandled completely, this game could survive. Because it did for 2 months. And not even on live support, because he wasn't even a developer on this game 2 months ago. But it had 2,500 players, and it had 2,500 players when it wasn't even fucking available to the general public, as it isn't now. You know, the only reason now it's not getting players is because people showed up, they didn't have anything to look forward to, and they've left again. They've got the nostalgia fix. That was part of the main gripe of what I always say with the revive that they should have done this time last year. This game had a very real fucking chance of revival last year, because when we had 2,500 players, we were all playing it together. We were all having a fucking good time with this time last year. And 2K, the publisher for this game, sat there and did fucking nothing for it was like 2 or 3 months, I think it was. But you don't do that. But what pisses me off with it was that they did that, but then they painted it on the game being the problem, when they waited 2 to 3 months before actually doing anything, actually speaking to the public about it, speaking to the consumers, doing anything with the game. All they were doing were flicking switches and just changing perks around, you know, just like this perk randomly gets disabled, Discord goes mental, which should have been a hint, because the Discord goes mental, they're like, oh shit, somebody is working on it, you know, right, rubbing our hands together, you know, we're going to get this game back. Nobody fucking did anything. They didn't do anything. Then they just kept flicking the switch on perks, and then lo and behold, 2 to 3 months later, when it's, you know, everybody's got the nostalgia fix, and they throw a bunch of keys into a public fucking Discord server and expect it, you know, act surprised when all the keys get scalped and sold on these dodgy websites elsewhere on the internet. Yeah. Oh, it's the game's problem. The game's fault. There's not enough demand for it. I mean, honestly, can you? I hope there's somebody out there who can see where I'm coming from here, because to me, it's fucking brain dead. It really is. It's just stupidity in its finest form. How an IP of yours can get 2,500 people playing it when it isn't available to the general public. You sit there 2 months, don't do a single fucking thing about it, don't capitalise on it whatsoever, don't start advertising it, saying, you know, right, we'll switch the servers back on, maybe we'll put it back on the Steam, and then we'll get even more players, you know, because then it will actually be available to the general public. But no, we're going to sit there for 2 to 3 months, not do anything, then sprinkle a bunch of keys into a public Discord server, they all get robbed, nobody gets these keys that were actually intended for everybody. I think it was about 50,000 they put into the, you know, the Discord server, but nobody got them because they got scalped by dickheads who rob them and, you know, sell them for money, basically. And that ruined the chances, because this publisher then thought, nah, actually there isn't demand, because these people who actually did want to play the game didn't actually get the keys that you sent into a server with no protection. But anyway, it's going on too long, this little rant at the end of the video, but it just winds me up. And from what I can see, based on my comments and how many people still want to play this game, because we're like, at the moment, there's me and probably a handful of others left on the entire fucking planet that can play this game. Yet there are people coming into my comments consistently on every single video I record for this, saying they missed the game and they want to play the game. Now, I don't know about you, and I don't know about you 2K, should you be watching this, because as I say, there's not that many people playing this anymore, but that would say maybe there is actually demand for this game, and maybe you should actually revive it. Because again, you don't have to make a new game, you can literally just revive this one, put it back on the Steam store, turn the servers on, that's the only bills you're going to have to pay. Don't have to make a new project, you don't have to spend millions making a new one, don't have to make an Evolve 2, you know, all that shit. Because I don't want an Evolve 2, quite honestly, given how shit the industry is these days, because it'll be absolutely shite, quite honestly. Basically, just switch the servers on for this game. Boom. Got an IP. You've got an IP for nothing, basically. And then, you know, give it 2 to 3 weeks. I'm being really, like, blunt here, just at the end of this video, because this is exactly what goes through my head every time I play this game. I just want to get it on camera and out there. But turn it on, turn the servers on, 2 to 3 weeks. Put out a post, depending on how it goes, obviously. Right, guys, we're going to start working on this. And you will soon see that when you announce that there is something coming, or you are going to work on balance patches, you are going to work on bug fixes, all that sort of thing, doesn't even have to be content immediately, straight away, you will find that people will actually stick to your project because it actually has a future, you know? Like, I don't work in game design, I have consumer knowledge because obviously I know from being a customer and a consumer from that, you know, that side of things. If I'm playing a game and somebody says to me, you know, a game that's not, you know, that I presume is dead, or, you know, it just exists as an experience, but all of a sudden the developer comes out and says, right, we're going to start balancing, we're going to start making changes here and there, boom, excitement. You know, I'm going to start playing it, and I'll start playing the game even though it's not changing just yet, because I know there's a future of that game, you know, and it's something to look forward to. But 2,500 players and doing fuck all for 3 months, yeah, and then turning around at the end and saying, oh no, there's not enough demand there, guys, no, see ya, you know, turn the fucking servers off completely, even though the servers were actually on, people just didn't realise they were until that big spike, you know. I don't know, man. Like, you know, you just need to be open in advance. That's what I was saying about last year that's coming out recently, in a previous video as well. That, you know, I mean, it's an Evolve video, so it's a different game, so obviously the developers of last year aren't going to be watching a video like this, but I like to voice it, you know, so it is on camera somewhere on the internet. And I'll probably say the same thing anyway when the update does come out, when we do play last year, because I will play it. I fucking love that game to bits. It's just that it doesn't have a player base at the moment. So, you know, we're waiting for everybody to come back, basically. But what I did say in the previous video, directed at the last year developers, because I know it is a small sort of indie dev, it's just a bunch of guys working on like a passion project at the moment. I did say you need to invest in advertising, and you need to tell people what you're actually working on to keep player retention, you know, to keep people playing the game. You need to advertise it, you need to mention what you are working on. NDA does a lot more fucking damage than it does to actually, you know, positives, because the longer you stay quiet with a project, the longer, you know, the more people aren't going to be interested in it, because as far as they're concerned, nothing is coming. Until you actually announce that something is going to arrive in a game, it's dead, as far as the consumers are concerned, because they aren't inside your head, you know, nobody fucking knows what you're working on. So until you actually announce it, pointless, you know, nobody knows it's coming. So that content doesn't exist, is what I'm trying to say, until it is announced. So in terms of last year, what I was saying is you need to advertise, you need to put out little announcements here and there. Do it in the Discord. Or most of your players are in the Discord. Just announce it in there. They recently made a Christmas video, which was good, because that's community engagement, and that's going to bring people in. It brought people in. I saw it. I was in the Discord when they actually posted it, and it brought everybody back. And that's the issue that we had with Evolve, to an extent, with the revival, because they didn't do anything. They legit just fucking sat there for 3 months and didn't do anything, and that is why the revival didn't work and why the game is now dead again. But they've gone a step further this time and just turned the servers off and just completely fucking abandoned it, when there is a literal cash cow sat here talking in, you know, corporate tongue. But anyway, there it is. It was like an 8-minute gameplay round, and this is probably like a 20-minute rant, but it's just something I have to get off my chest every time, because as well made as this game is, and as beautiful as it is, it should not be dead as far as I'm concerned. It just shouldn't be. I'm getting people consistently every single day in my comments and my YouTube videos. I'm not bragging about it, about comments and all that sort of shit. I don't brag to begin with. I'm not a person that's like that. I'm just making a point by saying that consistently, every time I upload a video of this game, there is somebody, at least one, who is saying they missed the game, and it's a different name each time. It's not the same person coming back just to say they missed the game. It's people all the fucking time. And I've got, you know, there's videos on the channel. You can look at the videos. Around the time it was, I believe it was August last year, when we got a massive spike, and I was at the top of YouTube briefly with this game. We actually managed to get it up there, and I believe, you know, we did manage to get it to the front page, because there's a video on the channel with 1.8 million views of people expressing how much they think this game is good and they're enjoying it. And if that doesn't say that there is demand for the game, when you've got YouTube videos with 1.8 million views, even these big YouTubers that were playing it, they're getting like loads of fucking views on this video for the game, you know, when they're playing it. Obviously they've got massive followings, I haven't, but there's still people viewing this game, and there's still people in the comments saying they want this game back. The only reality that I see of this game coming back, though, is a sequel, and it's not going to work. It just isn't. The only way they're going to be able to do a sequel of this game and bring it back is if they actually take an identical format, and I don't even know, actually, to be honest, because it just presents a whole new strain of issues. But as I said about 10 minutes ago, you don't need to improve this game. Just fucking re-upload it to Steam and just let people play it. I don't know. There it is anyway. There's your rant. It's a passion rant again. There's people who say they like these anyway, so there's another one for you. Boxing Day Christmas rant, eh? Well, yeah, I will love you and leave you for that one. And I will hopefully see you for the next one. Bye.